They look so good. And look at that. But look how beautiful they look. Winter sowing, the process of using a recycled container to grow hundreds of plants for just the cost of a pack of seeds. And today we're gonna go through and see the results of this year's winter sowing. Well, today we're finishing the planting of the raised bed garden. I have this tray of zinnias and cosmos that are ready to go in, and we're also going to open up all of the rest of the winter sowing and do the final reveal on how everything did. Well, last night our temperatures dropped down to 40 degrees, so I had to protect some of the marigolds that I recently planted. And what I did was I just used one of these empty plant containers, flipped over the plant, and it just provides enough protection to help them get through that little drop in temperatures. Hopefully that was the last cool night that we're going to have and we're clear for frosts. But if you happen to have one coming your way and you've already planted some of these annuals that might be a little bit sensitive to cool temperatures, just flip over a plant can. Most of us gardeners have plenty of these laying around. All right, let's get to our winter sowing. Now, in the last video, one of the more recent videos, I showed you how some of the cooler weather plants did, like the bachelor's buttons and nigella. So this is the rest of them, starting with delphiniums. Now, delphiniums are traditionally a difficult plant to germinate, but they look like they did really well with winter sowing. And look at that. They look so good. So I have two varieties in here separated in the center. I have the Magic Fountain Cherry Blossom and the Magic Fountain Sky Blue. When it starts to get warmer during the day, you certainly want to open up these containers so that your plants don't fry or get too hot in that little greenhouse environment. Last night we had 40 degrees and today it's going to get up to 70, so that's a wild temperature swing. So I'm going to get these all opened so that they can start getting some air and so that I can work on planting them out. So this is the Summer Pastels Yarrow that was started on February 5th. This is always so exciting to open these up. And look at that. It looks beautiful. So that is ready to go into the garden. And that is the other wonderful thing about winter sowing, is that it doesn't require any hardening off. It's already been growing out here in the elements. Now, this is one that most of you warned me about, and I'm going to heed that warning and plant it in a planter and be very careful about letting it spread. This is Malva zebrina. Let's see how many plants I got. Oh, for something that appears to be a super spreader, I only got a couple of seedlings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will plant these in a pot and see how they do, but I will avoid planting them in my garden how I originally planned because I don't want them to become a problem. All right, let's see what's next. Canterbury bells. Now these are a biennial. I started some last year. They should bloom this year. So usually biennials bloom on year 2. They work on root development and foliage in year 1. So I don't expect to get blooms from these this year. But look how beautiful they look. Now this was Buddy Purple Gomphrena that a friend had shared with me. She collected these seeds from her garden. I started these in March. And Gomphrena likes moisture to germinate because it breaks down the chaff on the seed. So winter sowing works really well for them. Look at that. So many beautiful Gomphrena. Now this is a shorter variety, the Buddy Purple, so this would be great for either a front of a border that you wanted to stay low or even in containers. This is Southern Charm Verbascum, also started on February 5th. This one is gorgeous. I have it in my garden and I wanted more of it, so I started some more from seed. So beautiful.
So far, no duds.
Can't say that too soon. This was marigold and there's nothing in here, but I suspected that because the seeds were a little bit older. So you can see there's actually nothing in there. So let's not waste our time opening this one. Let's open some fun ones. Larkspur. This is also a cool weather flower. These are better apparently sown in the fall using the cool seed or the cool flower method. And so I'll be trying that this year. We only got one, which is kind of a bummer, but I am going to plant that out on the larkspur.
How many did you plant in that?
I probably planted about, I want to say 9 to 12 seeds. And the package of seeds I did buy last season, not this season, so they weren't maybe as fresh. But I'm not sure why. I only got one seedling on the larkspur. Coneflowers. Now this is a perennial. I started these from Seed Fresh Pack. I purchased this year. Back on February 5th, we started these. Now coneflowers are one that I've started from seed before. They don't typically bloom until year 2. That is usually the case with perennials started from seed. And look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would say anywhere between 10 and 12 in here. And they look really good. Verbena. Now this is a new to me verbena this year. Typically I grow the bonariensis, which is a bit taller. This one is called Vanity, and it should top out at about 24 to 30 inches in height. And that also did really well. Look at that. This is lupin, which a lot of people have a difficult time with lupin germinating, and it does really well with winter sowing. I've done it before, and you can see that it works well. Look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 plants in here, and I put 9 seeds in this container. This was another perennial that I started for the first time this year, Rattlesnake Master. It's a type of Euringium. And there we go. We have some germination on that as well. Now perennials do exceptionally well with winter sowing because most perennials need cold stratification in order for them to germinate. So putting these containers together in January or February allows them to have that period of cold that they need to break down that shell on the seed and to germinate. Oh, sorry, I forgot. What is this one called? This is zinnias actually, and I just started these recently. And I have another tag inside, so we'll look at that. I believe in April. There we go. So these were started on 4/12, so just about a month. And they're doing pretty well. Look at that.
Those look good.
They do look good. Yep. So zinnias work really well with winter sowing. The thing is, because they are warm weather annuals, you don't want to winter sow them in the winter. You sort of have to spring sow them. So you would create your container at some point. I like to do it at the beginning of April, and you can see how fast they grew. This one is Blue Glow Globe Thistle, and I actually grew these from seeds that I collected from my own plants that I grew from seed a couple of years ago. Look at that. They look pretty good. About 9 plants. This is my Atomic Purple Gomphrena. See, this is why it's a great idea to always mark the front and inside with a tag. I might have just used a Sharpie on this one because it's what I had on hand. And that never works well for me, the Sharpie. That was started on March 4th, and we have quite a bit in here. These were also from seeds that I collected from my own Gomphrena plants. So I'm going to split these out and get them planted. This is Lunaria, and one of my sweet viewers sent this to me to start and try in my garden, also known as Sweet Honesty Lunaria. And we have a couple that germinated. These were collected from her garden as well. So thank you, Jamie Lee, for sending these to me. All right, here are the rest of the containers that I opened up. So this one here is Columbine, and a friend had shared these seeds with me from my garden club, and I got 2 of them. She just called it Navy Blue Columbine. These were sown on February 5th. And so that's that side. And on this side, I had some old Nora Barlow seeds that I sowed, and you can see no germination on that side. Almost always when you get poor germination or no germination on winter sowing, it's due to the age of the seeds. It could be other factors too, but at least in my experience, it's been that. So this here is some cleome that a friend had given me some cleome plants last year. I planted them out, and oddly enough, the ones that self-seeded in the bed are growing beautiful seedlings, but the ones that I collected seed from to grow here in winter sowing, I didn't get anything from. This one here is marigolds. These were also a couple of years old, this pack of seeds, and I didn't get any germination. This, I did get germination. These seeds were also a couple of years old, but the spotted bee balm I started only in April, and you can see that I have a few seedlings. And the last one that I didn't get any germination on was this coneflower. Again, a pack of seeds that was maybe about 4 years old. I did start some plants that I have out in the garden, and so I could probably collect some of my own seed this year to try growing this variety again. All in all, I started about 24 containers, and in all but about 5 or so, I got beautiful germination. You can see how healthy these seedlings all look, and I'm excited to get them planted and growing out in the garden. So let me go ahead and show you how I would plant out a winter sowing container. So here are the zinnias that we grew, and you just want to flip over your container. You can see all of the root development that we got there. And you just gently squeeze it like you would any kind of plant can. And there we are. And then you just gently tease them apart. For plant spacing on my zinnias, I'm just going to take my thumb and I'm going to make a hole. And I'm going to plant my zinnia, and then I'm going to use my pointer finger as the distance spacer for my next one. So they're going to be this far apart, whatever that ends up being on your hand. It's usually about six or so inches apart. Well, my winter sown zinnias are all planted along with some of the other flowers that I've been growing this season. And in about 2 months, this garden is going to be completely transformed and full of flowers. I grow about 80% flowers in this space and about 20% vegetables, and I can't wait to see it fill out. Now, if you've never done winter sowing before, it's a really fun and effective method. I have a whole playlist on winter sowing on my channel, but I can link a 5-minute quick start video that I made below for you to check out that'll get you going with winter sowing really quickly. So thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.